most people are so focused on the outcome that they miss out on the actual goal, which is the junk that comes up along the journey. That junk shows you what you need to change to get to your goal. All the emotional issues come up when you allow yourself to have new perspectives and to choose. These weird things happen where people latch on to fear. We latch on. But transition's gonna happen. Transition's happening now. Things are gonna collapse. Things are gonna make better. It's inevitable. Okay, money. Let's talk about making money, how to make more of it. Money's a fascinating thing, and making money is a fascinating thing. And we're just talking about how so often we get focused on the one way. Like, this is the way that I know how to make money, so therefore it's the only way to make money. How many have ever been stuck in that before? Right? Okay, as a massage therapist, sorry, I'm going to share massage therapist stories. So I had the one way of making money, which I was taught, which was, okay, so I'm going to learn how to do massage therapy. And then they taught me, okay, based on this, I can get like different modalities that are a little bit more advanced and I can charge top dollar for my stuff. Ooh, and that's how I'm going to make my money. And then I'll be a teacher and teach other people and maybe have massage therapists work for me. And so it was kind of like that was the vision, right? And that was the way that I was going to make a lot of money. I had this idea of like, hey, I want to make a lot of money, but that was the way, right? And then I thought, oh, a new opportunity came and introduced me into like network marketing and things like that. And I was like, oh, dude, a new way, a new potential. And I was like, oh, I'm going to make millions of dollars doing this. And I thought, this is the way. And so then I went that way. And I was like, oh, well, and I started to divide my focus. And then no way started to happen. Anybody divided their focus before and then it kind of sucks? Yeah. So as I started to learn this, I was so confined to one way of thinking. It was like, I'm all in this way, I'm all in this way, I'm all in this way. There's got to be just one way. And yet, as I opened my mind, I started to value perspective. Because the more perspectives that I could get, the more ideas of how to make money, then it opened up my mind to create more, to have new ways that I wasn't aware of, new opportunities to happen. And the more I allowed myself to do this, I had to be willing to let go of the way that I was doing it, which back in the day was massage therapy. And I was even planning on taking over my dad's clinic and like doing a lot. It was like a big deal. Like this was, you know, the legacy that my dad has left me to take over his clinic and do all this stuff. And so I had this thing, and that was the way. And as I started down that path, I thought, okay, I need to be open to new ways, but I have to be willing to let go of the way and embrace a new way. So as I did that, the way that I thought to make $10,000, I had mapped it out, right? Hey, if I wanted to do massage therapy, this is how I would do it. If I did network marketing, this is how I would do it. And then I had all these different ways. And I was like, this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. And I started to focus and go down that path, but I started to see these roadblocks, these obstacles that were just, man, this way kind of sucks. This way is tough. This way is not as fun as I had wanted it to. And part of me wanted to just keep committing, go through it, you know, hard worker, I'm just going to do whatever it takes. But then other parts of me always thought, is there a better way? Is there a more effective way? Is this really the way that's going to be for me? And as I allowed myself and opened myself up to the new ideas, there was this way that I had no idea, which was speaking and coaching and teaching, and that was a way. And I was willing to let go of these ways to create a new way that was 100 times more profitable. And more than that, 100 times more like time-freeing and just fun and exciting. So through that, I had to be willing to let go of these ways. And I did. This willingness makes you confront a lot of your allergies and addictions. This stuff of feeling not good enough, not capable, weak, difficult, like all these emotions come up when you have to let go of your way. Feeling uncertain, feeling, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this doesn't work? What if I can't go back? What if I completely lose my house and my family and my wife abandons me and I can't do anything at all because I suck and I can't sell anything even if I knock on 30 doors and I suck at everything, right? All the emotional issues come up when you allow yourself to have new perspectives and to choose all in. When I did that, I began to work on these things. All of the resistances that came up through the transformation and the transition, that's what I focused on changing. I was like, I'm going to get to the state where it doesn't matter what I do, because if I transition again, all this stuff's going to come up again. You see, most people are so focused on the outcome that they miss out on the actual gold, which is the junk that comes up along the journey. That junk shows you what you need to change to get to your goal. Most people don't treasure that, though. They stuff it. They ignore it. The key is to say, hey, this is something that's a part of me. I'm not going to stuff this. I'm going to confront this. I'm going to align it and move forward. And that's what we have to do. We have to confront these things constantly, consistently, day in and day out. And when you do, a new way presents itself. You can't be tied to the one way. If you're tied to that way, you'll lose it. But as soon as you're not tied to it, new opportunities happen. Better opportunities. I love the it's a surrender experiment. Michael Singer. And he talks about how living in this state of surrender. And essentially what it is, he's a dude living in a cabin out in the woods and he's just living his life. And he starts to take on these skills. And whatever life is sending him, he's like, oh, I'm not tied to these old ways. And he just embraces that new opportunity where he becomes a construction worker dude and builds this huge construction company. And then he shows up at this Radio Shack. Like back in the day, yeah, Radio Shack. I used to love Radio Shacks too. So Radio Shack, he shows up at the Radio Shack and there's this typewriter thing. He's like, whoa, this is so cool. And it's like the first computers that were coming out. And he gets obsessed with it and he's just pulled to it. He's like, man, what is this thing? So then he learns it. And then everybody starts sending him people to help him with their computers. And he's like, I guess that's what I'm doing now. And he just takes on this identity of cool, this is what destiny is kind of leading me down. So he starts to do that. And then he writes code for one of the biggest companies, a $100 million company type stuff, because he was guided that way. And then he has everything threatened to be taken from him and all this stuff. But it's just learning about surrendering to what's coming up and not being triggered in the reactionary moment of it. And that's what we want to do. We want to get into that state where we're not tied to the outcomes, but we allow ourselves to choose. And we allow ourselves to choose so that we don't fall victim when transition happens. Because transition is going to happen. It always happens. How many know that this year there's some weird stuff happening, right? Like the end of the world already happened this week. Like the solar eclipse, everybody died, I guess. Everybody missed out on that. They were so worried about death and all this stuff. Yeah, totally. It was kind of funny. And I didn't even know about it, but I worked on some people who had the issues, and I was like, oh, that's a thing? Okay, let's work through it. So these weird things happen where people latch on to fear. We latch on. But transition's going to happen. Transition's happening now. Things are going to collapse. Things are going to make better. It's inevitable. The question is, where are we going to be? Are you going to be the one that falls victim, or are you going to transition because you don't allow the non-ideals to keep you from it, right? So many of us are tied to the way. And we have to be able to say, hey, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to create what I actually want, because I know who I am and it doesn't matter what I do. So if I am going to go this way, sweet, I could do that. If I'm going to go this way, I could do that. I could go make 10 million this way, 100 million this way, whatever it is, your goal. Because you know who you are and you are not dependent upon the way. Does that make sense? Yeah? Cool. Hey, what's up? If you want to get access to learn the full process of how to change at a cellular level, click the link in the description. I actually have created a way for you to get access to the Unstoppablepreneur School for free so that you can check it out on a trial so you can experience these changes for yourself. So if you want to learn more, if you want to dive deeper, if you want to go through some of the coolest processes on the planet and the fastest hacks, click the link in the description and we'll see you on the other side. Was it me? No, it was each and every one of you. So we all chose to do that. No one forced you. No one made you. You chose, which is freaking awesome.